Long before cities rose and civilizations flourished, a remarkable partnership was forming. Between 20,000 and 40,000 years ago, wolves began their transformation into the companions we know today as dogs. This makes dogs the very first domesticated animal, predating sheep, cattle, and even cats by thousands of years. The story began when gray wolves started following human hunting groups, drawn by the promise of scraps and leftovers. Over countless generations, the boldest and friendliest wolves found advantages in staying close to humans, and humans discovered the benefits of having alert, loyal companions by their sides. Today, all dogs belong to the species Canis lupus familiaris, a subspecies of the gray wolf. Despite their incredible variety, from tiny chihuahuas to massive Great Danes, every domestic dog shares this common ancestry. Scientists have discovered that dogs and wolves share 99.9% of their DNA, making them remarkably similar at the genetic level. Yet, in that small difference lies something extraordinary. Dogs possess a unique ability that wolves lack. They can understand human pointing gestures. Even wolf pups raised by humans struggle with this skill, but puppies as young as 6 weeks old naturally comprehend when we point at something. This suggests that domestication fundamentally changed how dogs process human communication. Dogs have become masters at reading our emotions too. Research has shown that dogs can distinguish between happy and angry human faces, and they respond differently to each. When shown photographs of people displaying various emotions, dogs consistently matched the correct emotion to vocal tones, demonstrating a sophisticated understanding of human feelings. Their sense of hearing is equally remarkable. Dogs can hear frequencies up to 65,000 Hz, while humans can only detect sounds up to about 20,000 Hz. This means dogs perceive a world of sounds completely inaudible to us, from the ultrasonic squeaks of small rodents to electronic frequencies we never notice. But perhaps their most famous sense is smell. A dog's nose contains up to 300 million olfactory receptors, compared to about 6 million in humans. The part of a dog's brain devoted to analyzing smells is proportionally 40 times larger than ours, making their sense of smell between 10,000 and 100,000 times more acute than human noses. This extraordinary nose allows dogs to detect odors in concentrations nearly 100 million times lower than humans can. They can smell a teaspoon of sugar dissolved in the amount of water it would take to fill 2 Olympic-sized swimming pools. Dogs also have a special organ called Jacobson's organ that allows them to essentially taste smells. Unlike humans who breathe and smell through the same airways, dogs have dedicated passages for breathing and smelling. When a dog sniffs, air goes into separate chambers where it can be analyzed without interference from breathing, allowing them to smell continuously even while panting. Dogs experience the world through their noses in ways we can barely imagine. They can smell the passage of time through the decay of scents, potentially explaining how they seem to know when their owners are about to come home. They can detect changes in human body chemistry associated with fear, stress, and even some diseases. Their wet noses serve an important purpose beyond just being adorable. The moisture helps dogs absorb scent chemicals, enhancing their already incredible sense of smell. Dogs also lick their noses frequently to sample the scent particles and keep the surface optimally moist. Each dog's nose print is unique, much like human fingerprints. The patterns of ridges and creases on a dog's nose are so distinctive that they could theoretically be used for identification purposes, just as fingerprints identify individual people. Beneath a dog's fur lies a fascinating biological machine refined by thousands of years of evolution and selective breeding. The average dog has 319 bones in its body, though this number can vary slightly depending on the length of the tail. For comparison, adult humans have 206 bones. Dogs are born with even more bones than they have as adults. Puppies are born with around 300 bones, some of which fuse together as they mature, creating the solid skeletal structure of an adult dog. This gradual fusion allows puppies to be flexible and soft during birth and early development. A dog's skeletal structure is designed for movement and athleticism. Their shoulder blades are not attached to the rest of their skeleton by bone but rather by muscles and ligaments. This allows for greater flexibility and a longer stride, enabling dogs to run with remarkable efficiency and grace. The fastest dogs can reach incredible speeds. Greyhounds, the racing champions of the dog world, can sprint at speeds up to 45 miles per hour. They achieve this through a double suspension gallop, where all 4 feet leave the ground twice during each stride, once when the legs are extended and once when they're contracted beneath the body. Despite their speed on land, most dogs are also natural swimmers. Their bodies naturally float, and the dog paddle is an instinctive behavior that requires no training. Some breeds, like Newfoundlands and Portuguese water dogs, have webbed feet that make them especially adept in water, and they've been used for water rescue throughout history. A dog's heart beats between 60 and 140 times per minute, depending on the size of the dog. Smaller dogs have faster heart rates, while larger dogs have slower ones. This is nearly twice the resting heart rate of most adult humans, reflecting the more active metabolism dogs maintain. Temperature regulation works differently in dogs than in humans. Dogs only have sweat glands in their paw pads, which aren't sufficient for cooling their entire body. Instead, dogs primarily cool themselves through panting. When a dog pants, moisture evaporates from their tongue, nasal passages, and the lining of their lungs, effectively lowering their body temperature. The normal body temperature for dogs ranges from 101 to 102.5 degrees Fahrenheit, several degrees warmer than the human average of 98.6. This higher baseline temperature is one reason dogs seek out cool spots to lie down and why they're so drawn to air conditioning on hot days. Dogs have 3 eyelids. The third eyelid, called a nictitating membrane, is located in the inner corner of each eye. This additional eyelid helps protect the eye and distributes tears across the eye surface, keeping it moist and healthy. You can sometimes see this third eyelid when a dog is drowsy or unwell. Canine eyes contain a special reflective layer called the tapetum lucidum, which sits behind the retina. This layer reflects light back through the retina, giving the photoreceptors a second chance to capture it. This adaptation allows dogs to see much better than humans in low-light conditions and is what causes their eyes to glow green or yellow when light hits them at night. While dogs see better than humans in dim light, their color vision is more limited. Dogs are not completely colorblind, but they see the world primarily in shades of blue and yellow. They cannot distinguish between red and green, which appear as variations of yellow, brown, or gray to them. This is because dogs have only 2 types of color receptors in their eyes, while humans have 3. Dogs also have a wider field of vision than humans. While human eyes face forward with about 180 degrees of visual field, dogs' eyes are set more to the sides of their heads, giving them a visual field of about 250 degrees. This wider perspective helps them detect movement and potential threats from multiple directions. The position of a dog's eyes varies by breed and affects their depth perception. Breeds with eyes positioned more toward the front of their face, like Labrador Retrievers, have better depth perception. Breeds with eyes more to the sides, like Greyhounds, have wider peripheral vision but less overlap in their binocular vision, slightly reducing their depth perception. Dogs speak to us constantly, though rarely with sounds. Their primary language is body language, a sophisticated system of signals that conveys everything from joy to fear, from playfulness to warning. Learning to read this language opens a window into your dog's mind. A wagging tail seems simple, but it tells a complex story. Dogs wag their tails more to the right when they see something they like, such as their owner, and more to the left when they see something they perceive as threatening or want to approach cautiously. This asymmetry reflects the different hemispheres of the brain processing emotions. The speed and position of the wag matters too. A slow wag with the tail held low indicates insecurity or uncertainty. A rapid wag with the tail held high suggests excitement or arousal, though not always friendliness. A tail tucked between the legs signals fear or submission, while a tail held stiff and high indicates alertness or potential aggression. When dogs bow down with their front legs extended and their rear end up in the air, they're performing what's called a play bow. This universal canine signal means, everything I do now is just for fun, and is an invitation to play. Remarkably, dogs use this same gesture with humans, other dogs, and even other species. Yawning in dogs doesn't always mean they're tired. Dogs yawn as a calming signal to reduce stress in themselves or others. You might see a dog yawn when meeting new people, when at the veterinarian, or when they sense tension in their environment. Some dogs even yawn when their owners yawn, demonstrating a form of empathy. When a dog shows you their belly, they're displaying ultimate trust. The belly is a dog's most vulnerable area, and exposing it is a sign of complete submission or an invitation for affection. However, not all belly exposure is the same. Sometimes dogs roll over to diffuse tension or to request that a situation slow down, especially if they feel overwhelmed. Dogs smile, though not quite like humans do. The submissive grin involves pulling back their lips to show teeth while maintaining a relaxed, happy body posture. This expression is different from showing teeth in aggression, which is accompanied by tense body language, pin-back ears, and often growling. Some dogs learn to mimic human smiles to elicit positive responses from their owners. Ear position reveals much about a dog's emotional state. Ears held naturally and facing forward indicate a calm, attentive dog. Ears pulled back flat against the head suggest fear or submission. Ears pushed forward and standing at attention signal alertness or potential aggression. Floppy-eared breeds can be harder to read, but careful observers can still notice the change in ear position at the base. Eye contact between dogs and humans triggers a release of oxytocin, the same hormone that bonds mothers to babies. Studies have shown that when dogs and their owners gaze into each other's eyes, both experience a rise in oxytocin levels. This creates a positive feedback loop of bonding and affection, a unique feature of the human-dog relationship not found between humans and wolves. However, in the dog world, direct prolonged eye contact between unfamiliar dogs is considered a threat or challenge. Dogs use a soft eye or look away to show they mean no harm. This is why dogs often look away when you stare at them directly. They're being polite in dog language. Dogs have about a dozen different vocal sounds they use to communicate. Barking is perhaps the most familiar, but it's actually less common in wolves. Dogs developed their barking behavior through domestication, possibly because humans found it useful for alerting and guarding purposes. Different barks mean different things. A rapid series of barks at a mid-range pitch is a basic alert bark, signaling that something requires attention. Low-pitched continuous barking indicates a threat, while high-pitched barking suggests excitement or distress. A single short bark at mid-range pitch is typically a greeting, while repeated single barks with pauses show loneliness or a request for attention. Growling isn't always aggressive. Play growls are common during games and are usually accompanied by loose, playful body language. Warning growls are more serious and typically occur when a dog feels threatened or protective. Trying to suppress growling through punishment can be dangerous because growling is a valuable warning sign that helps prevent bites. Howling is an ancient behavior inherited from wolves. Dogs howl to communicate over long distances, to announce their presence, or in response to certain sounds like sirens or musical instruments. Some dogs howl when left alone, a behavior called separation distress that reflects their pack animal nature and discomfort with isolation. The miracle of life begins small and helpless. Puppies are born blind, deaf, and unable to regulate their own body temperature. They enter the world completely dependent on their mother for everything, using their sense of touch and smell to find warmth and food. A mother dog's gestation period lasts approximately 63 days, or about 9 weeks. During this time, the developing puppies grow from microscopic embryos to fully formed newborns. The number of puppies in a litter can range from 1 to over a dozen, with the average litter containing 5 to 6 puppies. Newborn puppies weigh only a few ounces to a pound or so, depending on the breed. Despite their tiny size, they're born with a strong instinct to nurse. They use their sense of smell and a reflexive paddling motion to navigate to their mother's teats, where they'll spend much of their first few weeks nursing and sleeping. For the first 2 weeks of life, puppies exist in what's called the neonatal period. During this time, they sleep about 90% of the day, waking primarily to nurse. This extensive sleep is crucial for their development, as growth hormones are released during sleep. Puppies can double their birth weight in just the first week. Puppies open their eyes at around 10 to 14 days old, but they still can't see very well initially. Their vision remains blurry for several more weeks as their eyes continue to develop. All puppies are born with blue eyes, which gradually change to their adult color over the following weeks and months. Their ear canals open at about the same time as their eyes, around 2 weeks of age. Before this, puppies experience the world through touch, smell, and taste alone. The sudden addition of sight and sound marks a dramatic shift in how puppies interact with their environment. The transitional period, from 2 to 4 weeks, is when puppies begin to toddle around on wobbly legs. They start to play with their litter mates, beginning to learn crucial social skills. Their first baby teeth, called deciduous teeth, begin to emerge during this period, and they may start attempting to eat soft food in addition to nursing. The socialization period, from about 3 to 12 weeks, is perhaps the most critical time in a puppy's development. During this window, puppies are particularly receptive to new experiences and positive exposures to different people, animals, sounds, and environments will shape their adult temperament. Puppies who miss adequate socialization during this period are more likely to develop fear or anxiety issues later in life. Puppies have 28 baby teeth, which begin falling out at around 12 to 16 weeks of age, replaced by 42 permanent adult teeth. This teething process can be uncomfortable, which is why puppies of this age seem to want to chew on everything. Providing appropriate chew toys helps soothe their discomfort and protects your furniture. During their first year, puppies sleep between 15 to 20 hours a day, with younger puppies needing even more sleep. This extensive sleep requirement gradually decreases as they mature, but even adult dogs sleep 12 to 14 hours daily. Sleep is when memories consolidate and learning becomes permanent, making it essential for training. Puppies grow at astonishing rates. Small breed dogs reach their adult size by 10 to 12 months, while large and giant breeds continue growing until 18 to 24 months of age. Great Danes and other giant breeds have one of the most dramatic growth spurts in the animal kingdom, going from 1-pound newborns to 150-pound adults in less than 2 years. Different breeds mature at different rates, not just physically but behaviorally. Small breed dogs tend to reach behavioral maturity earlier, often by 1 year old, while large breeds may not fully mature until 2 or 3 years of age. This extended puppyhood in large breeds explains why a 2-year-old Great Dane might still act like a goofy adolescent. The concept of dog years is more complex than the old formula of multiplying by 7. Dogs age much more rapidly in their first 2 years of life. A 1-year-old dog is roughly equivalent to a 15-year-old human in terms of maturity, while a 2-year-old dog is like a 24-year-old human. After that, each human year roughly equals 4 to 5 dog years, with smaller breeds aging more slowly than larger ones. Puppies are born with a natural instinct to keep their sleeping area clean, which forms the foundation of house training. Mother dogs stimulate their puppies to eliminate and then clean up after them for the first few weeks. As puppies mature, they naturally want to move away from their sleeping area to eliminate, an instinct humans can work with to establish good bathroom habits. Early experiences profoundly shape a dog's adult behavior and stress responses. Puppies handled gently by humans during their first few weeks of life show reduced stress responses and better problem-solving abilities as adults. This is why responsible breeders begin early neurological stimulation and handling exercises with very young puppies, giving them the best start in life. Dogs possess a remarkable intelligence that manifests in ways both obvious and subtle. Research suggests that the average dog has the cognitive abilities of a 2 to 2.5-year-old human child. They can understand approximately 165 words and gestures, though some exceptional dogs learn far more. The Border Collie holds the record for canine vocabulary. A Border Collie named Chaser learned the names of 1,022 individual objects, demonstrating not just memory but understanding of categories and grammar. She could retrieve specific toys by name and even understood sentences with multiple elements of grammar, like, "Take ball to frisbee." Dogs can count up to 5 and can perform simple mathematical calculations. In experiments, dogs shown different numbers of treats behind a screen react with surprise when the screen is removed and the number of treats doesn't match what they saw going behind it, demonstrating an understanding of quantity. Memory in dogs is more complex than once believed. While their short-term memory lasts only a few minutes, their long-term memory is excellent. Dogs remember people, places, and experiences for years. They have episodic memory, meaning they can remember specific events and experiences, not just learned behaviors. Dogs can learn through observation, both from other dogs and from humans. Puppies who watch their mothers or other dogs perform tasks learn those tasks more quickly than puppies without models to observe. This social learning ability is part of why dogs can adapt so well to human households. Problem-solving abilities vary significantly among breeds, but all dogs can think through challenges. When faced with an obstacle between them and a desired goal, dogs will try multiple strategies. Interestingly, dogs are more likely than wolves to look to humans for help when they encounter a problem they can't solve, showing their evolved dependence on human cooperation. Dogs can detect human emotions not just from visual cues but from scent. Research has shown that dogs can smell the chemical changes associated with human emotions like fear and happiness. When exposed to sweat from humans experiencing fear, dogs show more signs of stress than when exposed to sweat from happy humans. The ability to feel jealousy has been demonstrated in dogs. When owners showed attention to a stuffed dog while ignoring their own dog, the real dogs showed signs of jealousy, including pushing between the owner and the stuffed dog. This emotional complexity suggests dogs have feelings beyond simple stimulus-response reactions. Dogs have a sense of fairness and react to inequity. In experiments where one dog received rewards for a behavior while another received nothing for the same behavior, the unrewarded dog would stop participating and show signs of stress. This sense of fairness likely evolved as part of their pack social structure. The ability to plan for the future exists in dogs to some degree. Dogs will hide food to eat later, showing forethought. They also learn to anticipate regular events in their daily routine, positioning themselves at the door before walk time or by their bowl before feeding time. Dogs can recognize themselves as causing effects in their environment, a concept called agency. When trained to use buttons that play words, some dogs have learned to combine words to express novel ideas, suggesting they understand that their actions produce specific outcomes. Training methods matter significantly for learning. Positive reinforcement training, which rewards desired behaviors, creates faster learning and better retention than punishment-based methods. Dogs trained with positive reinforcement also show more enthusiasm for learning and are more confident in problem-solving situations. Different breeds were developed for different purposes, which created variations in intelligence types. Border Collies excel at following complex commands and problem-solving. Beagles are exceptional scent trackers. Retrievers have outstanding memories for locations. Each breed's intelligence evolved to suit its original purpose, making comparisons of smartness between breeds somewhat meaningless. Throughout history, dogs have worked alongside humans in countless capacities, their abilities shaped by selective breeding to perform specific tasks. This partnership has created an astounding diversity of skills within the canine family. Herding breeds like Border Collies and Australian Shepherds retain behaviors from their wolf ancestors, stalking, chasing, and controlling the movement of other animals, but modified to avoid the kill. These dogs can manage flocks of hundreds of sheep with minimal human direction, making complex decisions about how to move livestock safely. Herding dogs respond to whistles from remarkable distances. A skilled shepherd can direct a herding dog from over half a mile away using only whistle commands, with the dog understanding the subtle differences between various whistle patterns to know whether to circle left, right, come toward the handler, or lie down. Retrieving breeds were developed to have soft mouths that can carry game birds without damaging them. A well-trained retriever can carry a raw egg in its mouth without breaking it, demonstrating the incredible control these dogs have over their bite pressure. This trait makes retrievers gentle family dogs despite their size and strength. Sled dogs can run for over 100 miles a day in harsh Arctic conditions. The Iditarod Trail Sled Dog Race covers 1,000 miles across Alaska, with dogs running for 8 to 15 days to complete the course. These dogs have metabolisms that can process enormous amounts of food, burning over 10,000 calories per day during races. Bloodhounds have the most acute sense of smell of any dog breed. A bloodhound can follow a scent trail over 130 miles and can detect scents that are over 300 hours old. Their scent tracking ability is so reliable that evidence based on a bloodhound's tracking has been admitted in courts of law. Search and rescue dogs can detect human scent from over a quarter-mile away and locate people buried under 15 feet of snow. After disasters like earthquakes or building collapses, these dogs work tirelessly to find survivors, their noses capable of distinguishing living human scent from deceased human scent. Medical detection dogs can identify diseases like cancer, diabetes, and seizures before symptoms appear. Dogs have been trained to detect lung cancer by smelling a person's breath, with accuracy rates exceeding 95% in some studies. Diabetic alert dogs can smell the chemical changes that occur when a person's blood sugar drops dangerously low, alerting them before they lose consciousness. Service dogs perform hundreds of tasks for people with disabilities. Guide dogs for the blind navigate complex environments, stopping at curbs and obstacles. Hearing dogs alert deaf individuals to important sounds like doorbells, alarm clocks, and fire alarms. Mobility assistance dogs can open doors, retrieve dropped items, and even help pull wheelchairs. Some service dogs can detect oncoming seizures minutes before they occur, though scientists still don't fully understand how. These seizure alert dogs give their handlers warning to get to a safe place, preventing injuries from falls during seizures. The reliability of these dogs has transformed the lives of people with epilepsy. Military dogs have served in wars throughout modern history. In World War I, dogs carried messages across battlefields, laid telegraph wire, and detected enemy forces. Today, military dogs detect explosives and hidden weapons with greater accuracy than any electronic device, and they can search areas much faster than human teams. Dogs can be trained to detect invasive species and contraband. Conservation detection dogs help scientists locate endangered species for study and protection. Other dogs work at airports and border crossings, sniffing out everything from illegal drugs to prohibited agricultural products that could carry diseases or pests. Therapy dogs provide comfort in hospitals, nursing homes, schools, and disaster areas. Research has shown that interaction with therapy dogs reduces stress hormones, lowers blood pressure, and increases levels of oxytocin in humans. Children who read aloud to therapy dogs show improved reading skills and increased confidence. Truffle hunting dogs in Europe locate the prized fungi that grow underground near tree roots. These dogs can smell truffles through a foot of soil and alert their handlers without digging them up or damaging them. A skilled truffle dog is worth thousands of dollars and can find far more truffles than human hunters. The partnership between working dogs and their handlers is built on trust, communication, and mutual respect. These dogs don't work out of fear or simple obedience, but from a genuine desire to cooperate with their human partners. This willingness to work together is perhaps the most remarkable trait humans bred into dogs over thousands of years of partnership. The diversity of dog breeds is unmatched in the animal kingdom. From the 2-pound Chihuahua to the 200-pound English Mastiff, dogs show more size variation than any other species of mammal. This incredible variety is the result of selective breeding over thousands of years. The World Canine Organization recognizes over 350 distinct dog breeds, each with specific characteristics, temperaments, and physical traits. The American Kennel Club recognizes nearly 200 breeds, organized into 7 groups: sporting, hound, working, terrier, toy, non-sporting, and herding. Despite their vast differences in appearance, all dog breeds can interbreed and produce fertile offspring, which is the biological definition of a single species. This means a Great Dane and a Chihuahua, given the right circumstances and despite the obvious practical challenges, could theoretically produce viable puppies. Many breeds are quite ancient. The Basenji, a breed from Central Africa, is believed to be one of the oldest, with dogs resembling Basenjis appearing in ancient Egyptian art. The Saluki, a Middle Eastern sighthound, may be even older, with evidence suggesting these elegant dogs existed 5,000 years ago. The Basenji is known as the barkless dog because it doesn't bark in the traditional sense. Instead, Basenjis produce an unusual sound called a beru due to their differently shaped larynx. They can also yodel, howl, and make various other vocalizations, but the typical woof is not in their repertoire. The smallest dog breed is the Chihuahua, with some individuals weighing less than 2 pounds. The largest is typically considered to be the English Mastiff, with males often exceeding 200 pounds. The tallest breed is the Irish Wolfhound, with males standing over 32 inches at the shoulder. Some breeds have unusual physical characteristics that set them apart. The Norwegian Lundhund has 6 toes on each foot instead of the normal 4, an adaptation that helped them climb cliffs to hunt puffins. The Chinese crested dog can be almost completely hairless, while the Pulley and Commodore have corded coats that resemble dreadlocks. Dalmatians are born completely white. Their characteristic spots develop over the first few weeks of life and continue to appear throughout their first year. Each Dalmatian has a unique pattern of spots, like a fingerprint. Dalmatians can have black or liver-colored spots, though black is more common. The Newfoundland breed has a water-resistant coat and webbed feet, making them exceptional swimmers. These gentle giants were bred to help fishermen in Newfoundland, Canada, pulling nets and rescuing people from cold waters. They have a natural instinct for water rescue and can swim for miles. Greyhounds have several unique physiological traits that make them exceptional runners. They have larger hearts, more red blood cells, and higher hemoglobin levels than other breeds, allowing for better oxygen delivery during sprints. Their flexible spines enable them to fully extend their bodies during the double suspension gallop. Bulldogs have changed dramatically over the past century. Original bulldogs were athletic dogs bred for bull baiting, a cruel sport banned in 1835. Modern English bulldogs have been bred for a more exaggerated flat face and stocky build, which unfortunately has led to breathing difficulties and other health problems in many individuals. The Border Collie is often considered the most intelligent breed, excelling at obedience and working tasks. However, intelligence in dogs is task-specific. Beagles, which rank lower on obedience intelligence scales, are among the most intelligent scent trackers. Bloodhounds can follow scent trails that Border Collies would never detect. Some breeds were created relatively recently. The Doberman Pinscher was developed in Germany in the late 1800s by a tax collector named Louis Doberman, who wanted a loyal protection dog. The breed was created by crossing several breeds including Rottweilers, German Pinschers, and possibly Greyhounds and Weimarlers. Mixed-breed dogs, sometimes called mutts or crossbreeds, make up the majority of the world's dog population. These dogs often benefit from hybrid vigor, a phenomenon where genetic diversity leads to fewer inherited health problems. Many mixed-breed dogs live longer, healthier lives than purebreds. Designer dogs, intentional crossbreeds between two purebred dogs, have become increasingly popular. The Labradoodle was one of the first designer breeds, created in Australia in the 1980s to be a hypoallergenic guide dog by crossing a Labrador Retriever with a poodle. However, the creator later expressed regret, noting that unpredictable temperaments and health issues can result from such crosses. A dog's lifespan varies dramatically by size, with an unfortunate inverse relationship between size and longevity. Small breed dogs often live 12 to 16 years, while giant breeds typically live only 7 to 10 years. This is unusual in the animal kingdom, where larger animals generally live longer than smaller ones. The reason for this size-longevity relationship relates to growth rate. Large breed dogs grow rapidly, and this accelerated growth appears to lead to earlier aging and higher rates of cancer. Giant breeds age at a faster rate than small breeds throughout their lives, with their cells dividing more frequently and wearing out sooner. The oldest dog on record was an Australian cattle dog named Bluey, who lived to 29 years and 5 months. Bluey worked as a cattle herding dog for nearly 20 years before retirement. While Bluey's age is exceptional, it demonstrates that with good care and perhaps favorable genetics, dogs can live much longer than their average lifespan. Obesity is one of the most common health problems in pet dogs, affecting over half of dogs in developed countries. Overweight dogs face increased risks of diabetes, heart disease, arthritis, and shorter lifespans. Studies have shown that dogs kept at ideal body weight throughout their lives live nearly 2 years longer than their overweight counterparts. Dogs can suffer from many of the same health conditions as humans, including diabetes, arthritis, heart disease, and cancer. Cancer is the leading cause of death in dogs over 10 years of age, affecting approximately 1 in 3 dogs. Certain breeds have higher predispositions to specific cancers due to their genetic makeup. Dental disease affects over 80% of dogs by age 3. The bacteria from periodontal disease can enter the bloodstream and affect major organs including the heart, liver, and kidneys. Regular dental care, including toothbrushing and professional cleanings, significantly impacts overall health and longevity. Hip dysplasia, a developmental condition where the hip joint doesn't form properly, is common in many large breeds. While genetics play a major role, environmental factors like nutrition and exercise during puppyhood also influence whether a genetically predisposed dog develops the condition. Responsible breeders screen breeding dogs for hip dysplasia to reduce its prevalence. Dogs can suffer from separation anxiety, a behavioral condition where they become extremely distressed when left alone. Signs include destructive behavior, excessive barking, and house soiling. This isn't misbehavior or spite. It's genuine panic. Dogs with separation anxiety may benefit from behavior modification training, environmental changes, and sometimes medication. Dogs can develop cognitive dysfunction syndrome as they age, similar to Alzheimer's disease in humans. Senior dogs with this condition may become disoriented, have changes in sleep patterns, forget house training, and show altered interactions with family members. While there's no cure, certain diets, supplements, and medications can slow progression. Heartworm disease is a serious and potentially fatal condition caused by parasitic worms that live in the heart and lungs. These worms are transmitted through mosquito bites. Without preventive medication, dogs in endemic areas have a high risk of infection. Treatment is expensive, risky, and involves months of restricted activity. Dogs can't consume many foods that are safe for humans. Chocolate contains theobromine, which dogs metabolize slowly, making it toxic even in moderate amounts. Grapes and raisins can cause kidney failure. Xylitol, an artificial sweetener, causes rapid insulin release that can be fatal. Onions and garlic damage red blood cells. A dog's nutritional needs change throughout their life. Puppies need more calories and different nutrient ratios to support growth. Adult dogs need balanced maintenance diets. Senior dogs benefit from joint-supporting nutrients and often need fewer calories as metabolism slows. Working dogs require high-calorie diets to fuel their activity. Vaccines protect dogs from numerous serious diseases. Core vaccines include rabies, distemper, parvovirus, and adenovirus. These diseases can be fatal, and vaccination has saved countless dogs' lives. The initial vaccination series in puppyhood, followed by appropriate boosters, provides essential protection throughout a dog's life. Dogs live on every continent except Antarctica, adapted to climates from Arctic tundra to tropical rainforests. This global distribution reflects their incredible adaptability and their 20,000-year partnership with humans, who brought dogs along as they populated every corner of the earth. In many regions, dogs developed distinct characteristics suited to their environment. The Siberian Husky evolved a thick double coat and compact body to conserve heat in extreme cold. Conversely, the African Basenji has a short coat and lean build suited to hot climates. The Norwegian Lundhund developed extra toes for climbing the rocky cliffs of Norway's coast. An estimated 900 million dogs live worldwide, with approximately 470 million kept as pets. The remaining dogs are working dogs, strays, or village dogs that live semi-independently near human settlements. The United States has one of the highest rates of dog ownership, with approximately 65 million households owning at least one dog. France, Argentina, and the Czech Republic also have high rates of dog ownership, with dogs being deeply integrated into daily life and culture. In many countries, street dogs form self-sustaining populations. These dogs aren't wild but live in close association with humans, scavenging food from garbage and accepting handouts. Some communities view these dogs as communal pets, with multiple people feeding and caring for them informally. The Australian dingo represents an interesting case of a domestic dog returning to a wild or semi-wild state. Dingoes arrived in Australia with humans approximately 4,000 years ago and have since lived largely independent of direct human care, though they're still classified as a subspecies of domestic dog rather than a distinct wild species. In Japan, the Akita breed is considered a national treasure and symbol of good health and fortune. When a child is born or someone is ill, families often give Akita figurines as wishes for health and longevity. The famous story of Hachiko, an Akita who waited for his deceased owner at a train station for 9 years, exemplifies the loyalty Japanese culture sees in dogs. Tibetan Mastiffs are among the most expensive dogs in the world, with some selling for over $1 million in China. These massive, lion-like dogs were originally bred to protect sheep from predators like wolves and leopards in the Himalayan mountains. Their thick coats and strong territorial instincts made them ideal guardians in harsh mountain environments. The Zoloid Squintly, or Mexican hairless dog, is one of the rarest and oldest breeds in the Americas, dating back over 3,000 years. The Aztecs considered these dogs sacred, believing they guided souls through the underworld. The breed nearly went extinct but has been preserved and is now the national dog of Mexico. In many Islamic cultures, dogs have a complex status. Working dogs like shepherding and hunting dogs are valued, but dogs as house pets are less common due to religious traditions about cleanliness. However, attitudes vary widely across Muslim-majority countries and among individual families. The Canine dog is Israel's national breed, descended from pariah dogs that lived in the desert for thousands of years. These dogs are mentioned in biblical texts and survived by their wits in harsh conditions. They were semi-domesticated in the 1930s and now serve as both companions and working dogs. In Russia, stray dogs in Moscow have learned to navigate the subway system, riding trains to travel between feeding areas. These dogs recognize stops by announcement sounds and seem to understand the subway map well enough to know when to get on and off. Some even use rush hour timing to their advantage, traveling when trains are crowded and people are more likely to drop food. India has one of the world's largest populations of street dogs. These dogs have adapted to urban life, forming social groups and establishing territories. While some view them as a nuisance, others recognize their role in managing rodent populations and serving as informal neighborhood watch systems. The Peruvian Inca orchid, a hairless breed from Peru, appears in art and pottery dating back to pre-Incan times. These dogs were kept by ancient civilizations and were believed to have healing properties. People would cuddle with them like living heating pads, believing their warmth could help with arthritis and other ailments. In Nordic countries, dogs have legal protections that are among the strongest in the world. Sweden's Animal Welfare Act requires that dogs receive daily exercise, social interaction, and enrichment. These laws recognize dogs as sentient beings with needs beyond basic food and shelter. Different cultures have different perspectives on which breeds make ideal companions. In Germany, breeds like the German Shepherd and Dachshund are beloved. In the UK, Labrador Retrievers and Staffordshire Bull Terriers are popular. In Japan, smaller breeds like Shiba Inus and toy poodles are favored due to limited living space. Dogs spend a remarkable portion of their lives asleep, though exactly how much varies by age, breed, and activity level. Adult dogs typically sleep 12 to 14 hours per day, while puppies and senior dogs may sleep up to 18 to 20 hours daily. This extensive sleep isn't laziness but a biological necessity. Unlike humans who typically sleep in one long stretch, dogs are polyphasic sleepers, meaning they sleep in multiple periods throughout the day and night. This sleep pattern likely evolved from their wolf ancestors, who needed to be alert for both hunting opportunities and potential threats at various times. Dogs experience different stages of sleep just as humans do. They cycle through light sleep, deep sleep, and REM, rapid eye movement sleep. The complete sleep cycle takes about 20 minutes for dogs, much shorter than the 90-minute cycles humans experience, which means dogs enter and exit dream sleep more frequently. During REM sleep, dogs dream. Research has shown that the same areas of the brain that are active during REM sleep in humans are active in dogs. Scientists believe dogs dream about their daily experiences, just as humans do. Small dogs tend to dream more frequently than large dogs, with some small breeds dreaming once every 10 minutes. The twitching, paddling, and soft woofs you see during your dog's sleep are signs they're in REM sleep, likely dreaming. Dogs may be running, playing, or reliving their day in these dreams. The part of the brain that prevents acting out dreams is less active during REM sleep, which is why these movements occur. Puppies spend more time in REM sleep than adult dogs. This increased dream sleep is thought to be crucial for processing all the new information they're learning about the world. The extensive neural development happening in puppyhood requires significant time in this restorative sleep stage. Dogs prefer to sleep in safe, comfortable places where they feel secure. In the wild, Wolves and wild dogs seek out dens or sheltered spots that protect them from the elements and predators. Domestic dogs retain this instinct, which is why many dogs love crates, beds with sides or spots under furniture. The circling behavior many dogs do before lying down is inherited from their wild ancestors. This instinct served several purposes: trampling down grass or snow to create a comfortable sleeping spot, checking the area for insects or snakes, and positioning themselves in relation to wind direction and pack members for safety. Dogs can adjust their sleep schedules to match their owners. This flexibility is another adaptation that makes dogs such successful companions. A dog whose owner works night shifts can shift their sleep-wake cycle accordingly, though they may still nap throughout the day following their natural polyphasic rhythm. Senior dogs often sleep more but may have lower quality sleep due to age-related conditions. Arthritis can make it hard to get comfortable, cognitive dysfunction can disrupt sleep-wake cycles, and reduced bladder control may cause nighttime waking. Orthopedic beds and night lights can help senior dogs sleep more comfortably. Temperature affects how dogs sleep. Dogs curl up in a tight ball when cold, conserving body heat by reducing the surface area exposed to cool air. When hot, they sprawl out to maximize heat dissipation. The position a dog sleeps in can tell you whether they're comfortable with the ambient temperature. Some dogs snore, especially breeds with short muzzles like bulldogs and pugs. This occurs because their airways are narrower and more prone to obstruction during sleep. While occasional snoring is normal in any dog, excessive or sudden onset snoring can indicate respiratory problems and should be checked by a veterinarian. Despite thousands of years of domestication, dogs retain the hunting instincts of their wolf ancestors. This prey drive varies significantly among breeds, with some dogs having intense hunting instincts and others having had this behavior largely bred out. Understanding prey drive helps explain many dog behaviors. The hunting sequence in wolves and dogs consists of several behaviors: searching, stalking, chasing, grabbing, killing, and consuming. Selective breeding has emphasized certain parts of this sequence while diminishing others in various breeds. Pointers were bred to excel at searching and freezing when prey is found, but not to chase or kill. Retrievers have a strong desire to chase and grab but were bred to have soft mouths and bring prey back without consuming it. This selective emphasis on only part of the hunting sequence allows these dogs to work with hunters without destroying the game. The instinct to retrieve is so strong that many retrievers will fetch tirelessly. Terriers were bred to have the complete hunting sequence, designed to find, chase, kill, and shake small prey like rats and rabbits. The characteristic head shake terriers do with toys mimics the killing shake used to break the neck of prey. This is why terriers can be intense players and may be too rough for small children or delicate toys. Sighthounds like greyhounds and whippets hunt primarily by vision and have an intense chase drive. Movement triggers their hunting response, which is why these breeds may have trouble coexisting with small pets like cats or rabbits that dart around. However, individual dogs can learn to live peacefully with other pets through proper socialization. Scent hounds like beagles and bloodhounds rely primarily on their noses for hunting. These dogs can become so focused on following a scent trail that they tune out everything else, including their owner's calls. This single-minded determination made them valuable hunting companions but can make recall training challenging. The instinct to chase moving objects explains why many dogs love to chase balls, frisbees, or even cars. This behavior isn't about the object itself but about the movement triggering ancient hunting instincts. Dogs bred for intense prey drive need appropriate outlets like fetch, lure coursing, or agility training to satisfy these instincts. Not all dogs have strong prey drive. Breeds developed primarily for guarding or companionship may show little interest in chasing or hunting. Breeds like the Cavalier King Charles Spaniel and Havanese were bred to be lapdogs and companions, not hunters, and typically have low prey drive. The leave it command is particularly important for dogs with strong prey drive. This command can prevent dogs from chasing wildlife, picking up dangerous items, or eating things they find on walks. Training a reliable leave it works against strong instincts, which is why it requires patience and consistent practice. Prey drive can affect dog-dog interactions. Some dogs view small, fast-moving dogs as prey rather than playmates, especially if they're not properly socialized. This is why it's important to carefully supervise interactions between dogs of very different sizes and to respect when a dog's behavior suggests their prey drive is activated. Digging is a hunting-related behavior present in many breeds. Terriers and dachshunds were bred to dig into burrows to reach prey. Even in a home without rodents, these dogs may dig enthusiastically in yards, gardens, or even blankets and cushions. Providing appropriate digging opportunities, like a sandbox, can satisfy this instinct. Some dogs have been bred to have almost no prey drive at all. Livestock guardian breeds like Great Pyrenees and Maremas were selected specifically for their lack of interest in chasing or hunting the animals they protect. These dogs can live with sheep or goats without triggering their hunting instincts. Modern pet dogs rarely need to hunt for survival, but the instincts remain. Providing appropriate outlets through games, sports, and training that engage these natural behaviors helps dogs feel fulfilled and can prevent problematic behaviors that arise from boredom or frustrated instincts. Dogs are fundamentally social creatures, evolved to live in family groups with complex social structures. This social nature is why dogs adapted so successfully to life with humans and why they form such strong bonds with their families, both canine and human. The concept of pack hierarchy in dogs has been widely misunderstood. Early studies of wolf behavior observed captive wolves from different families forced together, which created artificial hierarchical conflicts. Wild wolf packs are actually family groups led by breeding parents, with relationships based more on cooperation than dominance. Similarly, dogs don't see their human families as a strict hierarchy requiring them to constantly challenge for alpha status. Instead, dogs view their humans as family members and resources controllers. The most effective training is based on positive reinforcement and clear communication rather than dominance-based methods. Dogs form strong attachment bonds with their owners similar to how children attach to parents. Research using the strange situation test showed that dogs seek out their owners when stressed, use them as a secure base for exploration, and show signs of distress during separation. These attachment patterns mirror those seen in human parent-child relationships. When dogs are raised together from puppyhood, they often form lifelong bonds. These bonded dogs may become distressed if separated, sleep curled up together, and engage in mutual grooming. However, dogs can also be perfectly happy as only dogs. They don't require canine companionship if they have adequate human interaction. Dogs engage in play throughout their lives, not just as puppies. Play serves multiple purposes. It builds and maintains social bonds, provides physical exercise, offers mental stimulation, and allows dogs to practice behaviors in a safe context. The play bow signals that all subsequent behavior is playful, not serious. Play styles vary significantly among dogs. Some dogs prefer chase games, others enjoy wrestling, and some love tug-of-war. Mismatched play styles can lead to conflicts when dogs don't understand each other's preferred play language. Dogs who play well together adjust their style and intensity to match their partner. Dogs have been observed exhibiting empathy toward other dogs and humans. They approach people who are crying or upset, often attempting to comfort them. Dogs can catch emotions from their owners through emotional contagion, which is why they often mirror their owner's stress or excitement levels. The ability to cooperate with humans comes naturally to dogs in ways it doesn't to wolves. Dogs instinctively understand that working with humans leads to better outcomes than working alone. This cooperative nature is one of the key differences between dogs and their wild ancestors. Dogs develop individual relationships with each family member. They may play more with one person, seek comfort from another, and respond best to training from a third. This ability to form multiple distinct relationships shows sophisticated social cognition. Introducing a new dog to a household requires careful management. Dogs need time to establish relationships and figure out how to share resources like food, toys, space, and human attention. Rushing introductions or failing to manage resources can lead to conflicts and long-term relationship problems. Some dogs prefer human company to other dogs. This is normal and doesn't indicate a problem. Just as some people are more social than others, dogs have individual preferences. Some dogs are social butterflies who love every dog they meet, while others prefer a small circle of familiar friends. Dogs can form friendships with other species. There are documented cases of dogs forming close bonds with cats, horses, birds, and even less conventional animals. These cross-species friendships demonstrate the remarkable social flexibility of dogs. Older dogs often play important social roles in multi-dog households, teaching puppies appropriate behavior through corrections and demonstrations. Puppies learn bite inhibition, proper play manners, and social cues from adult dogs more effectively than from humans alone. Social isolation is one of the most stressful experiences for dogs. Dogs left alone for extended periods may develop anxiety, depression, and behavioral problems. While dogs can learn to tolerate being alone for reasonable periods, they should not be regularly isolated for most of the day without consequences to their well-being. Beyond body language and vocalizations, dogs communicate through scent marking, creating an invisible network of messages that other dogs can read. When a dog urinates on a tree or sniffs a fire hydrant, they're reading and leaving messages about identity, reproductive status, health, and recent activities. Male dogs lift their legs to urinate on vertical surfaces to leave their scent at nose level for other dogs. This makes their mark more noticeable and longer-lasting than marks left on the ground. Female dogs also sometimes lift their legs when marking territory, especially in competitive situations with other dogs. The scratching behavior dogs do after eliminating serves a dual purpose. The visual marks on the ground draw attention to the spot, while glands in their paw pads leave additional scent markers. This combination of visual and olfactory signals creates a more noticeable communication. Dogs have anal glands that secrete a unique scent signature. This is why dogs sniff each other's rear ends when meeting. They're gathering information about the other dog's identity, diet, emotional state, and health. While this seems crude to humans, it's the equivalent of a handshake in the canine world. When dogs meet nose to nose, they're gathering initial information, but the real introduction happens at the rear end sniff. Dogs who are comfortable with each other may skip the formal rear sniffing, while dogs who are uncertain or establishing social relationships engage in more thorough olfactory investigation. Lip licking in dogs isn't always about food. It's often a calming signal that indicates stress, uncertainty, or an attempt to diffuse tension. A dog who licks their lips repeatedly when meeting someone new or during training may be feeling overwhelmed and need a break. The shake-off behavior, where dogs shake their bodies as if they're wet, is another stress-relieving behavior. Dogs often shake off after a tense encounter, a difficult training session, or when transitioning from one activity to another. It's like hitting a reset button. Freezing or going still is a subtle but important signal. When a dog suddenly stops moving, they're either intensely focused on something or feeling uncomfortable. A dog who freezes when being petted or approached may be hoping the uncomfortable situation will pass if they stay still. Whale eye. When a dog turns their head away but keeps their eyes on something, showing the whites of their eyes, indicates discomfort or worry. This signal is often seen when dogs are guarding resources, feeling cornered, or uncomfortable with handling or approach. The curve or arc approach is a polite behavior in dog language. Well-socialized dogs approach each other in curves or arcs rather than head-on, which would be confrontational. Dogs who approach directly may be seen as rude or threatening by other dogs. Mounting behavior isn't always sexual. Dogs mount each other during play, when excited, or when attempting to control other dogs' behavior. While it can indicate sexual interest in intact dogs, it's more commonly about arousal or social dynamics in neutered pets. Zoom eyes, the sudden bursts of frenetic running, are technically called FRAPs, frenetic random activity periods. These episodes help dogs release pent-up energy and are most common in puppies and young dogs, though dogs of any age can get the zoom eyes. They're typically a sign of happiness and well-being. The position dogs choose when lying near their owners communicates trust and attachment. A dog who lies with their back to you trusts you to watch for threats. A dog who maintains physical contact while resting is seeking closeness and comfort. These preferences are individual and relationship-specific. Dogs are capable of deception, though it's usually simple and transparent. A dog might pretend to see something interesting at the door to get another dog to leave a preferred spot or fake limping to get attention. These behaviors show dogs understand that they can influence others' behavior through communication. Dogs respond to seasonal changes in various ways, showing behaviors that reflect both their wild heritage and their domestication. These seasonal patterns affect everything from their coat to their activity levels to their reproductive cycles in intact dogs. Most dogs grow two coats, an undercoat for insulation and a topcoat for protection from weather and debris. Twice a year, typically spring and fall, dogs blow their coat, shedding the undercoat to adapt to changing temperatures. During these shedding periods, dogs can lose an impressive amount of fur. The photoperiod, or length of daylight, triggers coat changes more than temperature does. This is why indoor dogs still shed seasonally even in climate-controlled homes. The change in daylight hours signals biological changes that prepare dogs for upcoming seasonal conditions. In winter, dogs grow thicker coats for insulation. Breeds from cold climates like Huskies and Malamutes develop especially dense winter coats. These dogs are comfortable in temperatures that would feel extremely cold to humans or to dogs from warm climate origins. Some breeds barely shed at all. Poodles, Bichon Frises, and similar breeds have hair rather than fur, which grows continuously like human hair rather than following a seasonal cycle. These dogs require regular grooming and haircuts but produce less environmental allergens than heavy-shedding breeds. Dogs can adapt to both hot and cold climates, but extremes require special care. In hot weather, dogs are at risk for heat stroke because they can't cool themselves as efficiently as humans. They should never be left in cars, even briefly, as temperatures inside vehicles climb rapidly to lethal levels. Cold weather poses different risks. While many dogs enjoy cold weather, prolonged exposure can lead to hypothermia and frostbite, especially in small dogs, short-coated breeds, and dogs with low body fat. Paw pads can be injured by ice, salt, and chemical deicers. Intact female dogs typically come into heat twice a year, with cycles roughly 6 months apart, though this varies by individual and breed. Unlike many mammals that breed seasonally, dogs can reproduce year-round. This may be an adaptation related to domestication and living in human settlements with stable food supplies. During fall, some dogs show increased appetite, possibly an instinctive preparation for winter when resources might be scarce in the wild. Modern pet dogs don't need to store extra fat for winter, but the biological drive may remain, requiring owners to monitor portions to prevent weight gain. Activity levels may change with seasons. Some dogs become more energetic in cooler weather, especially breeds with thick coats who find hot weather uncomfortable. Other dogs, particularly sighthounds and short-coated breeds, may be less enthusiastic about outdoor activities in cold or wet weather. Rain and snow affect dogs differently based on coat type and individual preference. Some dogs love playing in snow and will leap through drifts with joy. Others dislike wet weather and resist going outside even for brief bathroom breaks. These preferences appear to be partly individual personality and partly breed characteristics. Seasonal allergies affect dogs just as they affect humans. Dogs can be allergic to pollen, mold, and other seasonal allergens. Unlike humans who typically sneeze and have runny noses, dogs with allergies usually show itchy skin, leading to scratching, licking, and sometimes ear infections. Daylight saving time changes can affect dogs' internal clocks. Dogs operate on circadian rhythms and develop strong expectations about feeding times, walk times, and bedtimes. When clocks change, dogs may need several days to adjust to the new schedule, showing up for meals an hour early or late by clock time. Winter's shorter days can affect dogs' mood and energy just as they affect humans. Some dogs may show signs of seasonal affective disorder, becoming less energetic or more withdrawn during dark winter months. Ensuring adequate daylight exposure and maintaining activity levels helps dogs stay mentally healthy through winter. Dogs possess abilities that seem almost supernatural to humans, senses and skills so refined that they perceive a reality we can barely imagine. These extraordinary abilities have been harnessed for countless purposes throughout history and continue to amaze researchers today. Dogs can hear sounds 4 times farther away than humans can. While a human might hear a sound from 20 feet away, a dog can hear that same sound from 80 feet. Their mobile ears can tilt and rotate to pinpoint the exact source of sounds with remarkable precision. The highest note a dog can hear is about 45,000 hertz, well into the ultrasonic range beyond human hearing. This allows dogs to hear rodent vocalizations, bat echolocation, and electronic devices that humans perceive as silent. Some dog whistles work in this frequency range, appearing silent to humans but clearly audible to dogs. Dogs can detect some sounds at frequencies so low they're below human hearing range. This may explain anecdotal reports of dogs sensing earthquakes before they happen. They may hear or feel the low-frequency rumbling that precedes the main quake, giving them warning before humans notice anything unusual. A dog's sense of time is different from ours but demonstrably real. Dogs can distinguish between different durations, knowing the difference between their owner being gone 5 minutes versus 5 hours. They track time through multiple cues: scent decay, light changes, hunger levels, and possibly an internal circadian clock. Some dogs can predict seizures in humans up to 45 minutes before they occur. While scientists don't fully understand the mechanism, these dogs likely detect subtle changes in body chemistry, behavior, or electrical activity that precede a seizure. This ability has proven so reliable that seizure-alert dogs give their handlers independence and safety. Dogs can detect changes in barometric pressure, which may explain why many dogs become anxious before thunderstorms. They sense the atmospheric changes before the storm arrives, while humans remain unaware until we see dark clouds or feel the first drops of rain. The mourning behavior dogs display when another pet or human family member dies suggests they understand death on some level. Dogs may search for the deceased, become withdrawn or depressed, change eating habits, or show other signs of grief that can last weeks or months. Dogs can distinguish between hundreds of individual people by scent alone. Police bloodhounds can track a specific person's scent trail through environments where hundreds of other people have walked. They can even age-discriminate scents, determining if a trail is fresh or days old. Some dogs can detect bed bugs with remarkable accuracy, rivaling or exceeding electronic detection methods. These specially trained dogs can pinpoint infestations in hotels, homes, and other buildings, alerting handlers to problem areas that humans would never notice without extensive searching. Dogs trained to detect specific chemicals can find leaks in underground pipes, including water and gas lines buried under streets. These dogs can detect tiny amounts of escaping chemicals, allowing repair crews to locate problems without extensive and expensive excavation of entire pipeline sections. Conservation detection dogs help protect endangered species by locating scat, which scientists use for population studies, genetic analysis, and health monitoring. These dogs can find samples in dense forests, mountainous terrain, and other challenging environments where humans would likely miss most evidence. Some dogs can detect imminent hypoglycemic episodes in diabetics, alerting them to dangerous drops in blood sugar before symptoms appear. The dogs likely smell chemical changes associated with low blood sugar. This skill can be life-saving for diabetics who don't recognize the warning signs of hypoglycemia. Dogs can find bodies underwater, including in deep lakes and rivers. Cadaver dogs trained for water searches alert when scent particles float to the surface, helping recovery teams locate drowning victims. Some of these dogs work from boats, able to pinpoint locations even in murky water where visibility is zero. The ability of dogs to detect COVID-19 has been studied extensively, with some dogs showing over 90% accuracy in identifying infected individuals by scent. While not replacing laboratory tests, this demonstrates once again the extraordinary sensitivity and specificity of the canine nose. The domestic dog genome was fully sequenced in 2005, revealing approximately 19,000 genes spread across 39 pairs of chromosomes. This genetic map has revolutionized our understanding of dog evolution, breed development, and inherited diseases. All dog breeds share a common genetic foundation, but mutations and selective breeding have created enormous diversity. A 2017 study identified over 180 regions of the dog genome associated with specific breed characteristics, from size and coat color to ear shape and snout length. The size variation in dogs is controlled by relatively few genes. Researchers have identified a variant of the IGF-1 gene that is almost universally present in small dogs and absent in giant breeds. This single gene has a major effect on adult body size, though other genes fine-tune the final result. Coat color in dogs is determined by several genes working in combination. The genes control whether pigment is produced, what type of pigment is made, where pigment is deposited, and what pattern it follows. This is why two dogs with similar coloring might produce puppies with entirely different coat colors. The merle coat pattern, characterized by mottled patches of diluted pigment, is caused by a specific genetic mutation. While one copy of the merle gene creates the beautiful mottled pattern, dogs who inherit two copies often have serious health problems, including vision and hearing defects. Responsible breeders never breed two merle dogs together. Genetic testing can now identify over 350 genetic mutations in dogs associated with inherited diseases. Before breeding, responsible breeders test for conditions common in their breed, helping to reduce the frequency of genetic diseases and producing healthier puppies. Some breeds are more genetically diverse than others. Ancient breeds like the Basenji have more genetic diversity, while breeds that went through population bottlenecks or were created from very few founding dogs have less. Greater genetic diversity generally correlates with fewer inherited health problems. The genetics of behavior is complex, but herding behavior, pointing behavior, and other working instincts have genetic components. Researchers have identified regions of the genome associated with these behaviors, though environment and training still play crucial roles in whether and how these genetic predispositions manifest. Cloning dogs is now technically possible and has been done commercially, though it remains expensive and controversial. Clone dogs are genetically identical to their donor but may look slightly different due to epigenetic factors, and their personalities can vary significantly because personality is shaped by both genetics and experience. The mutation rate in dogs is similar to that in other mammals, but selective breeding has amplified certain mutations rapidly. Traits that would be rare in a random breeding population become fixed in breeds because humans deliberately breed dogs showing those traits. Hybrid vigor, or heterosis, explains why mixed-breed dogs often have fewer health problems than purebreds. When dogs from different genetic backgrounds breed, their offspring inherit a more diverse genetic makeup, reducing the chances of inheriting two copies of a harmful recessive gene. Genetic research continues to reveal the complex history of dog domestication. DNA from ancient dog remains shows that dogs spread across the world with human migrations, with different genetic lineages developing in isolation before mixing again as human populations mixed. Dogs have been woven into human culture for so long that it's difficult to imagine civilization without them. They appear in our oldest art, our mythology, our literature, and our daily idioms, reflecting the profound impact these animals have had on human society. The ancient Egyptians revered dogs, particularly those resembling greyhounds and basenjis. Dogs were mummified and buried with their owners, and the Egyptian god Anubis, who guided souls to the afterlife, was depicted with the head of a jackal or dog. This demonstrates that the special bond between humans and dogs is ancient. In Greek mythology, the three-headed dog Cerberus guarded the gates of the underworld. Dogs appear throughout Greek myths, usually as loyal companions and guardians. The Greeks appreciated dogs for both practical purposes and companionship, with different breeds recognized for hunting, guarding, and warfare. The Chinese zodiac includes the dog as one of 12 animals, representing loyalty, honesty, and reliability. People born in the year of the dog are believed to embody these canine virtues. Dogs have been kept in China for thousands of years, with breeds like the Pekingese being particularly prized by royalty. In Norse mythology, a giant hound named Garmr guards the gates of hell, similar to Cerberus in Greek myth. Vikings valued dogs highly, burying warriors with their dogs to accompany them to Valhalla. Archaeological evidence shows elaborate dog burials that rival human burials in grave goods and preparation. Native American cultures had various relationships with dogs before European contact. Dogs served as pack animals, especially in tribes without horses. Some tribes considered dogs sacred, while others valued them primarily as working partners. Dogs were essential for nomadic cultures, carrying possessions during seasonal movements. The phrase "dog days of summer" comes from ancient Rome, referring to the period when Sirius, the dog star, rises just before the sun. Romans associated this time with heat, lethargy, and bad luck. This linguistic remnant shows how deeply dogs have been embedded in our cultural consciousness. Man's best friend became a popular phrase after a famous 1870 court case closing argument by attorney George Graham Vest, who eloquently defended a man whose dog had been killed. Vest's speech about a dog's unwavering loyalty in contrast to the fickleness of human relationships resonated widely and cemented this phrase in popular culture. Presidential dogs have lived in the White House since the beginning. George Washington, an avid fox hunter, owned many hounds. Abraham Lincoln's dog Fido was one of the first presidential dogs to be photographed. Franklin Roosevelt's Scottish Terrier Fido became so famous that FDR once sent a destroyer to retrieve the dog when he was accidentally left behind. The RCA Victor logo featuring a dog named Nipper listening to a phonograph became one of the most recognized trademarks of the 20th century. The phrase "his master's voice" and the image of the attentive dog symbolized the fidelity of sound reproduction and became an enduring cultural icon. The first living creature successfully launched into orbit was Laika, a Soviet space dog, in 1957. While Laika didn't survive the mission, she paved the way for human space travel. Her sacrifice is commemorated in various monuments, and she remains a symbol of the animals who contributed to human exploration. In literature, dogs have played starring roles for centuries. Classic stories like The Call of the Wild by Jack London, Where the Red Fern Grows by Wilson Rawls, and Old Yeller by Fred Gibson explore the deep bonds between humans and dogs, often becoming beloved classics that shape how generations view the human-canine relationship. The rise of social media has created a new phenomenon: celebrity dogs with millions of followers. Accounts for dogs share their daily lives, promoting products, raising awareness for causes, and entertaining millions. This shows how the human fascination with dogs has adapted to new forms of media and communication. Therapy and service dogs have gained increasing cultural recognition and legal protection. Laws in many countries now recognize service dogs' right to access public spaces, and therapy dogs are welcomed in hospitals, schools, and disaster areas. This represents a cultural shift in understanding the legitimate roles dogs play beyond companionship. The dog fancy, including breed standards, dog shows, and kennel clubs, emerged in Victorian England and spread worldwide. The first official dog show was held in England in 1859. These organizations codified breed standards and created the infrastructure for modern dog breeding, for better and worse. Modern scientific research into dog cognition has exploded in the past 2 decades, revealing that dogs are far more sophisticated thinkers than previously believed. Research centers dedicated to studying dog behavior and cognition now exist at universities around the world. Dogs can follow human pointing gestures better than any other species, including our closest primate relatives. Even wolf-raised puppies and adult wolves don't naturally understand pointing the way dogs do. This ability appears to be an innate result of domestication rather than something each dog learns individually. The secure base effect seen in human children also appears in dogs. When dogs are with their owners, they're more confident exploring new environments and more willing to attempt challenging tasks. When owners are absent, dogs show less exploratory behavior and give up more easily on problems. Dogs demonstrate understanding of object permanence, the concept that objects continue to exist even when out of sight. When a toy is hidden under a blanket, dogs know it's still there and will search for it. This cognitive ability develops in puppies around 8 weeks of age, similar to the age it develops in human infants. The guilty look dogs display when they've done something wrong may not actually be guilt. Research suggests that what we interpret as guilt is actually a submissive response to our body language and tone of voice. Dogs who haven't done anything wrong show the same guilty expression when owners scold them, suggesting it's appeasement behavior rather than genuine guilt. Dogs can learn new words rapidly through a process called fast mapping, the same way young children learn language. In experiments, dogs shown a new toy among familiar toys can infer that a novel word must refer to the novel object, demonstrating sophisticated reasoning about language. Studies using fMRI brain scans show that the reward center in a dog's brain activates more strongly in response to their owner's scent than to the scent of food. This neurological evidence supports what dog lovers have always believed. Dogs genuinely love their people, not just the resources we provide. Dogs have what researchers call theory of mind, the ability to understand that others have thoughts and knowledge different from their own. Dogs behave differently when their owners can see them versus when owners cannot. Dogs are more likely to steal forbidden food when their owner isn't watching, showing they understand that others have different visual perspectives. The phenomenon of dogs yawning when their owners yawn demonstrates emotional contagion and empathy. This contagious yawning occurs more strongly between dogs and their owners than between dogs and strangers, suggesting it's based on emotional bonding rather than just visual mimicry. Research into dog facial expressions revealed that dogs produce more expressions when humans are watching them. Dogs raise their eyebrows more and make their eyes bigger when people look at them, suggesting these expressions evolve to communicate with humans specifically, not just as reflexive emotional responses. Dogs can discriminate between happy and angry human faces and respond appropriately to each. When shown photographs of smiling versus frowning faces, dogs approach happy faces more readily and show more stress signals when viewing angry faces. This ability to read human facial expressions is unique among non-primate species. The other race effect that makes it harder for humans to distinguish between individuals of other races also exists in dogs, with species instead of races. Dogs are better at distinguishing between individual human faces than between individual dog faces, despite being the same species as other dogs. This suggests their brains have specialized to read human faces through domestication. Citizen science projects have allowed thousands of dog owners to contribute to research by testing their own dogs on cognitive tasks at home. These large-scale studies have revealed that factors like breed, training, age, and even diet can influence cognitive abilities, and that there's enormous individual variation within breeds. Dogs demonstrate social referencing, looking to their owner's reactions when encountering something novel or ambiguous. If an owner acts afraid of an object, the dog is more likely to avoid it. If the owner acts positive, the dog approaches more confidently. This shows dogs use human emotional reactions to guide their own behavior. Dogs are omnivores, capable of digesting both meat and plant material, unlike their wolf ancestors who are primarily carnivorous. During domestication, dogs evolved additional copies of genes that help break down starches, allowing them to thrive on the more varied diet available around human settlements. A dog's digestive system is shorter and simpler than an herbivore's, but longer and more complex than an obligate carnivore like a cat. Food takes about 8 to 10 hours to pass through a dog's digestive system, compared to up to 60 hours in humans. This faster transit time means dogs need to eat more frequently relative to their size. Dogs require certain nutrients that they cannot produce themselves. Taurine, an amino acid, is essential for heart and eye health. While dogs can synthesize some taurine, certain breeds or dogs eating certain diets may need supplementation. Cats, by contrast, cannot make taurine at all and require it in their diet. Water is the most critical nutrient for dogs. A dog can survive far longer without food than without water. Dogs should have constant access to fresh, clean water. A dog who suddenly drinks much more or much less water than usual may be showing signs of illness and should be examined by a veterinarian. The amount of food a dog needs varies dramatically based on size, age, activity level, and metabolism. A 10-pound Chihuahua might need 200 calories per day, while a 100-pound Labrador might need 2,000 calories or more. Working dogs and nursing mothers can require even more calories to maintain their body condition. Dogs have taste receptors for sweet, sour, salty, and bitter flavors, but fewer taste buds than humans, about 1,700 compared to humans' 9,000. Interestingly, dogs have special taste receptors for water, which become more sensitive after eating salty or sugary foods, encouraging them to rehydrate. Unlike cats, who are obligate carnivores and prefer meat flavors almost exclusively, dogs show preferences for certain foods that don't necessarily correlate with nutritional value. Individual dogs can be quite particular about food temperature, texture, and flavor, with preferences ranging from crunchy to soft, warm to cool. Puppies nurse for their first 3 to 4 weeks, receiving all nutrition from their mother's milk. Mother's milk provides not only nutrients but also antibodies that protect puppies from disease during their vulnerable early weeks. This passive immunity gradually wanes as puppies mature and develop their own immune responses. The transition from puppy food to adult food should happen gradually to avoid digestive upset. Most dogs switch to adult food between 12 and 18 months, depending on breed size. Large breed puppies need special formulas that control growth rate, as growing too quickly can contribute to joint problems. Senior dogs often benefit from diets lower in calories, but enriched with joint-supporting nutrients like glucosamine and omega-3 fatty acids. As metabolism slows with age, senior dogs need fewer calories to maintain healthy weight, but they still need high-quality protein to maintain muscle mass. Dogs don't chew their food as thoroughly as humans do. Their teeth are designed for tearing and crushing rather than grinding, and they often swallow pieces whole or only partially chewed. Their digestive enzymes and stomach acid break down food that humans would need to chew more thoroughly. The behavior of eating grass puzzles many dog owners, but it's quite common and usually normal. Dogs may eat grass to settle an upset stomach, induce vomiting, or simply because they like the taste. Unless a dog eats large amounts or shows other signs of illness, occasional grass eating isn't concerning. Food allergies in dogs are less common than many people believe. True food allergies, which involve immune system reactions, affect only about 1% of dogs. Food sensitivities or intolerances are more common. The most frequent allergens are beef, dairy, wheat, egg, chicken, lamb, soy, and corn. Bones present a controversial topic. While many dogs enjoy chewing bones and it can be good for dental health, cooked bones, especially poultry bones, can splinter and cause serious injuries. Raw bones are safer but still carry risks. Many veterinarians recommend purpose-made chew toys as safer alternatives. Dogs enter their senior years at different ages depending on their size. Small dogs aren't considered seniors until around 10 to 11 years old, medium dogs around 8 to 9 years, and large and giant breeds as early as 5 to 6 years. This reflects the accelerated aging that occurs in larger dogs. Gray hair isn't just for humans. Dogs gray too, usually starting around the muzzle and face. Some dogs gray prematurely due to genetics or stress, while others maintain their coat color well into old age. The graying pattern is unique to each dog and adds to their distinguished senior appearance. Arthritis affects a large percentage of senior dogs, causing joint pain and stiffness that worsens with age. Dogs with arthritis may have difficulty climbing stairs, getting up from lying down, or jumping onto furniture they previously accessed easily. Weight management, supplements, and medication can significantly improve quality of life. Senior dogs sleep even more than adult dogs, often 16 to 18 hours per day. They may also sleep more deeply and be harder to wake. Providing soft, orthopedic bedding in quiet locations helps senior dogs get the restorative sleep they need. Some senior dogs appreciate having bedding in multiple locations so they can rest near family activities. Hearing loss is common in aging dogs. Dogs may stop responding to their names or fail to react to sounds like the doorbell that previously triggered excitement. Owners can adapt by using hand signals, vibrating collars, and stomping on the floor to create vibrations that get the dog's attention. Vision changes occur gradually. Many senior dogs develop nuclear sclerosis, a bluish-gray haziness in the eye lens that's a normal part of aging and doesn't significantly impair vision. Cataracts, which cause more serious vision loss, appear as white opacity in the lens and can sometimes be surgically corrected. Senior dogs may become more attached to their owners and more anxious about separation. This can reflect cognitive decline or simply an increased need for security as their senses diminish. Maintaining routines and providing comfort items can help senior dogs feel more secure. Dental disease worsens with age if not addressed. Many senior dogs have significant tartar buildup, gum disease, and missing or broken teeth. Dental disease isn't just a cosmetic issue. It causes pain and the bacteria can spread through the bloodstream, affecting the heart, liver, and kidneys. Changes in bathroom habits may occur as muscles weaken and control diminishes. Some senior dogs need more frequent bathroom breaks or may have occasional accidents. Patience and understanding are important, as these changes are physical, not behavioral problems. Mental stimulation remains important for senior dogs. While they may not be able to engage in intense physical activity, games, puzzle toys, and training sessions help keep their minds sharp. Cognitive enrichment may slow the progression of cognitive dysfunction syndrome. The bond between owner and senior dog often deepens. As dogs slow down and spend more quiet time with their families, the relationship takes on new dimensions. Many people find the senior years to be some of the most rewarding, appreciating the gentle companionship of their aged friend. End-of-life decisions are among the hardest responsibilities of dog ownership. Quality of life assessments help determine when a dog is no longer enjoying life. Many veterinarians offer at-home euthanasia, allowing dogs to pass peacefully in familiar surroundings with their family present. Grief over the loss of a dog is genuine and profound, reflecting the deep bond formed over years together. Genetic research promises to revolutionize dog health in coming decades. As we identify more genes responsible for inherited diseases, breeders can make more informed decisions, potentially eliminating certain genetic disorders from breeding lines. Gene therapy may eventually allow treatment of genetic conditions previously considered untreatable. The rise of DNA testing for mixed-breed dogs has revealed surprising insights about breed combinations and has helped owners understand their dog's behavioral tendencies and health risks. These tests analyze thousands of genetic markers to determine ancestry, though accuracy varies between companies and interpretation requires care. Urban dog ownership presents new challenges that are shaping dog-keeping practices. In dense cities where yards are rare, dogs adapt to apartment living and rely on walks and dog parks for exercise. This environment requires different training approaches and has influenced which breeds are popular in urban settings. Dog training methods continue to evolve toward more humane, science-based approaches. Understanding of learning theory and animal behavior has led to positive reinforcement becoming the gold standard. Aversive training methods are increasingly recognized as harmful and less effective than reward-based approaches. Technology is changing how we care for dogs. GPS trackers help locate lost dogs quickly. Automatic feeders and cameras allow owners to monitor and interact with dogs remotely. Apps track health metrics, training progress, and behavior patterns. Some technologies show genuine promise, while others may be more novelty than necessity. The human-animal bond is receiving more recognition in healthcare settings. More hospitals, nursing homes, and mental health facilities incorporate animal-assisted therapy, recognizing that interactions with dogs provide measurable benefits for physical and psychological health. Climate change will affect dogs in various ways. Changing temperatures may influence which breeds thrive in different regions. New parasites and diseases may spread to areas where they previously couldn't survive. Rising temperatures may require adjustments to exercise routines and housing to keep dogs safe. The ethical questions surrounding breeding practices are receiving more attention. Concerns about breed standards that prioritize appearance over health have led to calls for reform. Some kennel clubs have revised standards for brachycephalic breeds and others with conformations that compromise well-being. Rescue and adoption have become more mainstream, with many people preferring to adopt shelter dogs rather than purchasing from breeders. This shift has increased awareness of homeless pets, though responsible breeding still plays an important role in preserving breed characteristics and producing dogs for specific working roles. The concept of emotional support animals has gained legal recognition in some jurisdictions, though not without controversy. Unlike trained service dogs, emotional support animals don't have specialized training but provide comfort through their presence. Regulations continue to evolve regarding where these animals can accompany their owners. Research into dog longevity seeks to extend healthy lifespan. Studies examining factors that contribute to longer lives in dogs may have applications for human aging research. Understanding why smaller dogs live longer than larger ones could provide insights into the aging process across species. Cross-cultural perspectives on dogs continue to evolve as global communication increases. Different cultural attitudes toward dogs are being shared and sometimes challenged, leading to evolving perspectives on issues like dog meat consumption, stray dog populations, and the appropriate roles for dogs in society. The next chapters in the dog-human story will be written by how we choose to treat these remarkable animals. As our understanding of their cognitive and emotional lives deepens, our responsibility to ensure their well-being becomes clearer. Dogs have given humanity 20,000 years of loyalty, companionship, and service. How we honor that relationship in the future will say much about who we are as a species. Throughout history, individual dogs have distinguished themselves through extraordinary acts of loyalty, bravery, and service. These dogs remind us of the profound impact individual animals can have on human lives and history. Balto, a Siberian husky, led the final leg of a 1925 serum run to Nome, Alaska, during a diphtheria outbreak. The team of sled dogs transported medicine 674 miles in brutal conditions, arriving just in time to prevent an epidemic. Balto became famous, though his musher later noted that another dog, Togo, led the longest and most dangerous portion of the journey. Hachiko, an Akita, waited at Tokyo's Shibuya station every day for nearly 10 years after his owner's death, expecting him to return from work. Hachiko's loyalty touched Japan's heart, and a bronze statue was erected in his honor at the station. The statue remains a popular meeting spot, and Hachiko's story has inspired books and films. Sergeant Stubby served in World War I and is the most decorated war dog in American history. This Boston Terrier mix participated in 17 battles, warned soldiers of gas attacks, located wounded men, and once caught a German spy by the seat of his pants. Stubby was promoted to sergeant, a rank higher than most of his handlers. Laika, a stray dog from Moscow streets, became the first living creature to orbit Earth in 1957 aboard Sputnik 2. While Laika didn't survive the mission, a fact Soviet officials initially concealed, her sacrifice provided crucial data for human spaceflight. She's commemorated in monuments and remains a symbol of animals' contributions to science. Barry, a St. Bernard who lived in the early 1800s at the Great St. Bernard Hospice in Switzerland, reportedly saved over 40 lives in the Alps. Barry would find travelers lost in snow, lie on them to keep them warm, and lick their faces to revive them. The most famous story, possibly apocryphal, tells of Barry carrying a small child to safety on his back. Chips, a German Shepherd Collie Husky mix, was the most decorated dog of World War II. Donated to the military by his family, Chips served in North Africa, Sicily, and Europe. He broke from his handler during a battle in Sicily and attacked an enemy machine gun position, forcing the crew to surrender. His wartime decorations were later revoked due to army policy but were posthumously restored. Rin Tin Tin, a German Shepherd rescued from a World War I battlefield, became one of Hollywood's biggest stars in the 1920s. His films saved Warner Brothers from bankruptcy, and he received thousands of fan letters weekly. Rin Tin Tin's success helped change public perception of German Shepherds from enemy war dogs to beloved family pets. Bobby the Wonder Dog made a 2,500-mile journey across the United States in 1924 to return to his family in Oregon after being lost in Indiana. The journey took 6 months, crossing the Midwest in winter. Bobby's feat was investigated and verified, making him a media sensation. His story demonstrated the powerful homing instinct some dogs possess. Smokey, a 4-pound Yorkshire Terrier, served in World War II in the Pacific Theater. Despite her tiny size, Smokey went on combat flights, pulled communication wire through a narrow culvert under an active airfield, a task that would have required days and exposed men to enemy fire, and even performed tricks to entertain wounded soldiers. She's credited as the first therapy dog. Britannia was the last surviving search and rescue dog who worked at Ground Zero after the September 11th attacks. She worked 12-hour shifts searching for survivors and later became a therapy dog. When Britannia was euthanized at age 16, firefighters and first responders lined the veterinary clinic to salute her final journey. Endall, a yellow Labrador service dog in England, saved his owner's life by pulling him into the recovery position after he was struck by a car and placing a blanket over him. Endall then retrieved his owner's mobile phone from beneath the car, fetched a blanket from a nearby hotel, and only left to get help when his owner regained consciousness. Judy, an English pointer, was the only animal to be officially registered as a prisoner of war during World War II. Captured by Japanese forces, Judy survived prison camps and helped keep morale up among prisoners. A prisoner shared his meager rations with her, and she alerted prisoners to approaching guards and dangerous animals. Apollo, a German Shepherd search and rescue dog, was the first canine to arrive at the World Trade Center on September 11, 2001, just 15 minutes after the towers collapsed. Despite the danger, Apollo and his handler searched for survivors. Apollo received the Dickin Medal for exceptional devotion to duty and was inducted into the New York State Animal Hall of Fame. Nemo, a German Shepherd sentry dog in Vietnam, saved his handler's life by attacking enemy soldiers despite being shot in the face and losing an eye. Nemo continued fighting until reinforcements arrived, then stood guard over his wounded handler. Both survived, and Nemo returned to the U.S. where he lived out his retirement as a symbol of military dog service. Dorado, a yellow Labrador guide dog, led his blind owner down 70 flights of stairs in the World Trade Center's North Tower on September 11, 2001, navigating through smoke, debris, and crowds. The journey took about an hour, and both made it out safely just before the tower collapsed. Dorado's calm guidance through chaos saved his owner's life. To truly understand dogs, we must try to comprehend a world dominated by scent, a sensory experience so rich and detailed that it's nearly impossible for humans to imagine. For dogs, scent creates a three-dimensional map of their environment, past and present. Dogs don't just smell what's present now. They can smell what was present hours or even days ago. As scents decay at predictable rates, dogs can essentially smell the passage of time. They might know their owner came home 6 hours ago versus 2 hours ago based on how much the owner's scent has faded. The vomeronasal organ, or Jacobson's organ, is a specialized scent organ located in the roof of a dog's mouth. When dogs make that peculiar chattering motion with their mouths after smelling something interesting, they're pumping scent molecules into this organ, which is particularly sensitive to pheromones and chemical signals from other animals. Dogs have turbinates, scroll-like bones in their nasal cavity that create a large surface area for scent detection. As air enters the nose, it's distributed across the surface where millions of olfactory receptors sample it. This design is so efficient that scientists have studied it for applications in chemical detection technology. Each breath a dog takes brings new scent information. Dogs can also breathe in and out simultaneously through different pathways in their nose, allowing them to maintain a continuous stream of scent information. This means they can track a scent trail without interruption, even while panting. Scent discrimination abilities in dogs are so refined that they can detect individual components within complex scent mixtures. Where a human might smell stew, a dog smells each individual ingredient. This ability makes dogs exceptional at detecting specific target scents even in environments full of competing odors. Dogs create scent memories that can last for years. A dog who visited a particular place once will remember the scents associated with that place and may recognize them years later. This scent memory is more reliable and lasting than their visual memory. The phenomenon of dogs being able to smell fear has scientific basis. When humans experience fear or stress, we produce different chemical signatures in our sweat and breath. Dogs can detect these changes, which is why they sometimes react differently to nervous people versus confident ones. Tracking dogs can follow a specific person's scent trail even hours after they pass through an area. The scent comes from dead skin cells that constantly flake off humans. We shed about 40,000 dead skin cells per minute, creating a scent trail wherever we go. Dogs follow this trail even through complex environments. Weather conditions dramatically affect scent trails. Humid conditions generally preserve scents better than dry ones. Wind disperses scents, making them harder to follow. Rain can either help or hurt, depending on timing. Light rain before a track can preserve scent, while heavy rain during tracking washes it away. Dogs can distinguish between identical twins by scent, even though twins share virtually the same genetic makeup. Each person's unique collection of bacteria, diet, environment, and experiences creates an individual scent signature that dogs can discriminate with remarkable accuracy. The way dogs analyze scents is both conscious and unconscious. While they can actively search for specific scents, they're also constantly processing background scent information. A dog might suddenly alert to something their conscious attention wasn't focused on because their unconscious scent processing detected something significant. Dogs are lifelong learners, capable of acquiring new skills and behaviors from puppyhood through their senior years. While younger dogs may learn more quickly, older dogs can still learn new tricks, despite the old saying suggesting otherwise. The critical socialization window for puppies occurs between approximately 3 and 14 weeks of age. During this period, puppies readily accept new experiences as normal. Positive exposures to different people, animals, environments, and stimuli during this window help create confident, well-adjusted adult dogs. Fear periods occur during development, times when puppies are more prone to developing lasting fears from negative experiences. The first fear period happens around 8 to 10 weeks, with another occurring during adolescence around 6 to 14 months. Extra care during these periods helps prevent long-lasting phobias. Classical conditioning, the type of learning studied by Pavlov, occurs constantly in dogs' lives. Dogs form associations between events that occur together. A dog who associates the sound of a leash with going for a walk will become excited by the sound. This learning is automatic and doesn't require conscious thought. Operant conditioning involves learning from consequences. Behaviors followed by pleasant outcomes increase in frequency, while behaviors followed by unpleasant outcomes decrease. This principle underlies most modern dog training, with trainers using rewards to increase desired behaviors. Timing is crucial in training. Dogs connect consequences with behaviors only if they occur within about 1 second of each other. Delayed rewards or corrections aren't associated with the correct behavior, making training ineffective or even teaching the wrong lesson. Marker training, using a clicker or verbal marker like yes, bridges the gap between behavior and reward. The marker tells the dog exactly which behavior earned the reward, even if the treat comes several seconds later. This precision accelerates learning and reduces confusion. Different breeds were developed for different purposes, affecting their trainability for specific tasks. Border Collies bred for herding naturally excel at herding training but might struggle with behaviors counter to their instincts, like ignoring moving objects. Training works best when it aligns with breed tendencies. Dogs don't generalize behaviors as easily as humans do. A dog who learned to sit in the living room might not understand that sit means the same thing at the park. Training in multiple locations helps dogs generalize commands, understanding they apply in all contexts. The Premack principle states that a more desirable behavior can reinforce a less desirable one. For dogs, this means opportunities to engage in high-value activities can reward desired behaviors. For example, sitting calmly before being released to play uses play as a reward for the sit. Learned helplessness can develop when dogs are repeatedly unable to escape unpleasant situations. Dogs in this state stop trying to control their environment and may appear shut down or depressed. This emphasizes the importance of giving dogs choices and ensuring they can influence outcomes in their lives. Behavior chains link multiple behaviors together, with each behavior cueing the next. Complex performances like service dog tasks or dog sport routines are built from chains of individually trained behaviors. Dogs learn these sequences remarkably well, sometimes performing entire chains from just the first cue. Mental enrichment is as important as physical exercise for dogs. Puzzle toys, scent games, training sessions, and novel experiences provide cognitive stimulation that tires dogs mentally. A mentally stimulated dog is typically calmer and better behaved than one who only receives physical exercise. Training strengthens the bond between dog and owner. The communication, cooperation, and shared accomplishments of training create positive associations and deepen the relationship. Dogs who regularly train with their owners often show more attentiveness and connection than dogs who don't. As we near the end of our journey through the world of dogs, we reflect on what makes these animals so special to humanity. The relationship between humans and dogs represents one of the most successful interspecies partnerships in history, built on mutual benefit, affection, and understanding. Dogs have shaped human history in countless ways. They enabled humans to hunt more effectively, protected settlements from predators and intruders, helped shepherd the livestock that fed civilizations, and provided companionship that eased the loneliness of human existence. In turn, humans provided dogs with food, shelter, and opportunities to reproduce. The modern pet dog lives a life vastly different from its ancestors. Today's dogs sleep on soft beds, receive medical care that extends their lives, eat balanced diets formulated by nutritionists, and are valued members of families. This represents a shift from viewing dogs primarily as workers to seeing them as companions deserving of care and consideration. The diversity of dogs, over 350 recognized breeds plus countless mixed breeds, means there's a dog suited to almost any human lifestyle. From apartment-dwelling city professionals to farmers on vast ranches, from active athletes to quiet retirees, dogs have adapted to fit human lives in remarkable ways. Every dog is an individual with a unique personality. While breed tendencies exist, individual variation within breeds is enormous. Getting to know a specific dog means appreciating their particular quirks, preferences, fears, and joys, recognizing them as the complex individuals they are. Dogs teach us valuable lessons about living in the present moment. They don't dwell on past grievances or worry about distant futures. They find joy in simple pleasures: a good meal, a favorite toy, time with loved ones. This mindful presence is something humans can learn from our canine companions. The responsibility of dog ownership is significant. Dogs depend entirely on humans for their well-being. They need food, water, shelter, medical care, training, socialization, mental stimulation, and physical exercise. But most importantly, they need love and companionship. Dogs are social animals who suffer when neglected or isolated. The grief of losing a dog is profound and legitimate. The bond formed over years of daily interaction, mutual care, and unconditional love creates a connection as meaningful as any human relationship. Society is increasingly recognizing that mourning a dog is a genuine form of grief deserving of support and understanding. Dogs live shorter lives than we wish they would. This reality makes the time we have with them precious. The years or decades we share with our dogs are filled with ordinary moments that become treasured memories. Daily walks, quiet evenings together, excited greetings at the door. The unconditional love dogs offer is rare in the world. A dog doesn't care about your accomplishments, possessions, or social status. They love you for being you, offering the same enthusiasm whether you've had a triumph or a terrible day. This acceptance is a gift many humans struggle to offer each other. Scientific research continues to reveal the depth of dogs' cognitive and emotional lives. Each new study showing dogs' ability to understand, remember, feel, and think deepens our appreciation for these animals and increases our ethical obligations toward them. The future of the human-dog relationship depends on choices we make today. How we breed dogs, how we train them, how we care for them, and how we honor their needs will determine whether this ancient partnership continues to thrive for another 20,000 years. As you drift towards sleep, surrounded by these facts about dogs, their biology, their behavior, their history, their remarkable abilities, perhaps you'll dream of the dogs in your life, past or present. Or perhaps you'll simply rest easier knowing more about these extraordinary animals who have chosen to share their lives with humanity. The story of dogs is not yet finished. Every dog alive today, and every dog yet to be born, will add another chapter to this ongoing tale of loyalty, companionship, and love.